Maya Richardson sat in the corner seat of the subway car, her head resting against the cool window. The rhythmic clatter of the train on the tracks had become a comforting sound over the past few weeks. It was so different from the sound she'd grown accustomed to during her 8 years in the Navy SEALs. The roar of helicopter blades, the crack of gunfire during training, the silent tension of night operations. Now, at 32 years old, she was trying to figure out what normal felt like again. She wore a simple green jacket over a teal shirt, her curly hair pulled back loosely. Nothing about her appearance suggested her background. That's exactly how she wanted it. After everything she'd seen and done in service to her country, Maya craved anonymity. She wanted to blend in, to be just another face in the crowd of tired commuters heading home after a long day. The subway car was about half full. A mother sat with her 2 young children, quietly reading them a story. An elderly man dozed in his seat, his newspaper sliding from his lap. A young couple whispered to each other, lost in their own world. A businessman typed furiously on his phone. These were her neighbors now. Ordinary people living ordinary lives. Maya found something beautiful in that simplicity. She'd been working at a local community center for the past month, helping with administrative tasks. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt good to be around people again, to have conversations that didn't revolve around missions or protocols. Her supervisor, Mrs. Chen, had no idea about Maya's military background. As far as anyone at work knew, she'd just moved to the city looking for a fresh start. The train slowed as it approached the next station. Maya glanced at her phone. 3 more stops until home. She was looking forward to a quiet evening, maybe ordering some Thai food and watching a movie. These small pleasures meant more to her now than they ever had before. The doors opened with a pneumatic hiss, and the atmosphere in the car shifted immediately. 3 men stepped aboard, and Maya's trained instincts kicked in automatically. She didn't move, didn't react visibly, but her awareness sharpened. The men were in their mid-20s to early 30s, loud and clearly intoxicated. The smell of alcohol wafted through the car even from several feet away. The ringleader was tall and heavyset, wearing a stained football jersey. His 2 friends flanked him, one thin and wiry with nervous energy, the other stocky with a shaved head. They stumbled into the car, laughing too loudly at something one of them had said. Maya watched as other passengers subtly shifted in their seats, creating distance. The mother pulled her children closer. The elderly man dozed in his seat, his newspaper sliding from his lap. The young couple whispered to each other, lost in their own world. A businessman typed furiously on his phone. These were her neighbors now. Ordinary people living ordinary lives. Maya found something beautiful in that simplicity. She'd been working at a local community center for the past month, helping with administrative tasks. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt good to be around people again, to have conversations that didn't revolve around missions or protocols. Her supervisor, Mrs. Chen, had no idea about Maya's military background. As far as anyone at work knew, she'd just moved to the city looking for a fresh start. The train slowed as it approached the next station. Maya glanced at her phone. 3 more stops until home. She was looking forward to a quiet evening, maybe ordering some Thai food and watching a movie. These small pleasures meant more to her now than they ever had before. The doors opened with a pneumatic hiss, and the atmosphere in the car shifted immediately. 3 men stepped aboard, and Maya's trained instincts kicked in automatically. She didn't move, didn't react visibly, but her awareness sharpened. The men were in their mid-20s to early 30s, loud and clearly intoxicated. The smell of alcohol wafted through the car, even from several feet away. The ringleader was tall and heavyset, wearing a stained football jersey. His 2 friends flanked him, one thin and wiry with nervous energy, the other stocky with a shaved head. They stumbled into the car, laughing too loudly at something one of them had said. Maya watched as other passengers subtly shifted in their seats, creating distance. The mother pulled her children closer. The elderly man dozed in his seat, his newspaper sliding from his lap. The young couple whispered to each other, lost in their own world. A businessman typed furiously on his phone. These were her neighbors now, ordinary people living ordinary lives. Maya found something beautiful in that simplicity. She was looking forward to a quiet evening, maybe ordering some Thai food and watching a movie. These small pleasures meant more to her now than they ever had before. The doors opened with a pneumatic hiss, and the atmosphere in the car shifted immediately. 3 men stepped aboard, and Maya's trained instincts kicked in automatically. She didn't move, didn't react visibly, but her awareness sharpened. The ringleader was tall and heavyset, wearing a stained football jersey. His 2 friends flanked him, one thin and wiry with nervous energy, the other stocky with a shaved head. They stumbled into the car, laughing too loudly at something one of them had said. Maya watched as other passengers subtly shifted in their seats, creating distance. The mother pulled her children closer. The elderly man dozed in his seat. His newspaper was sliding from his lap. The young couple whispered to each other, lost in their own world. The businessman typed furiously on his phone. These were her neighbors now, ordinary people, living ordinary lives. Maya found something beautiful in that simplicity. The ringleader was still laughing loudly. "Man, did you see that bartender's face when we left? He looked like we burned down the place." The thin one choked on his own laughter. "You threw a glass at the wall, Derek." Derek broke into full belly laughs. "It slipped. I told him it slipped." He swung his arm for a pull. "These subway cars are too shaky. That's discrimination against drunk people." Maya closed her eyes and took a deep breath. The train car fell silent except for the rumble of the wheels and Derek's periodic outbursts. Maya kept her gaze soft, not making direct eye contact, but maintaining awareness of their movements. In her peripheral vision, she tracked each of them. Derek's attention wandered around the car, looking for engagement, for an audience. His eyes passed over the mother and children, lingered briefly on the young couple, then swept toward Maya's corner. "Everyone on this train thinks they're better than us," he announced to no one in particular. "Look at 'em, all quiet and judgy." Maya took a slow breath. 3 more stops. She could be patient for 3 more stops. The thin man stumbled toward a seat near the businessman, who immediately stood and moved again. This delighted the 3 men. "See? See that?" Derek pointed. "Can't even stand to sit near us. That's what's wrong with this city. No respect." The bald one tried to pull Derek back. "Come on, man, let's just sit down. We're almost to our stop anyway." But Derek shrugged him off. "Nah, man, I'm tired of people treating us like trash. We're good people. We work hard. We deserve respect." The irony of demanding respect while being belligerent was lost on Maya, but she remained still. Her training had taught her that the best fights were the ones you never had. Staying calm, staying invisible. That was the smart play. But as the train rattled toward the next station, Maya felt the familiar weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. She recognized the signs of a situation that could escalate quickly. And, despite wanting nothing more than a quiet evening at home, she knew she might not get that wish. The doors opened at the next station. No one got off. No one got on. The platform was empty. And Derek's attention finally, unmistakably, fixed on Maya. Derek's eyes locked onto Maya, and she saw the shift in his expression. It was a look she'd seen before, a combination of alcohol-fueled confidence and something darker, the desire to exert power over someone he perceived as vulnerable. In his intoxicated state, he'd made the same mistake countless people had made before him. He saw a woman sitting alone and assumed she was an easy target. "Hey," Derek called out, pointing at Maya. "You think you're too good to talk to people too?" Maya didn't respond. She kept her breathing steady, her posture relaxed but balanced. Every muscle in her body was ready, but nothing in her demeanor suggested it. This was another thing the SEALs had taught her: how to be completely prepared for violence while appearing completely calm. "My boy is talking to you," the thin man chimed in, emboldened by his friend's attention on someone else. The mother with the two children quickly gathered her kids and moved to the far end of the car. Maya was glad for that. Fewer civilians in the immediate area meant fewer people who could get hurt if this went bad. "Leave her alone, Derek," the bald friend said, his voice uncertain. "She's not bothering anyone." "That's the problem, Marcus. Nobody bothers with anybody anymore. Whatever happened to community?"
The transit police cleared the subway car at the next station, ushering all the passengers onto the platform so they could properly document the incident. Maya stood under the harsh fluorescent lights, giving her statement to Officer Sarah Chen. The name tag on the female officer's uniform read clearly now that they were in better lighting. Derek and the thin man, whose name turned out to be Tyler, sat handcuffed on a metal bench, looking miserable. The other officer, whose badge identified him as Officer Rodriguez, stood guard over them while taking statements from witnesses. Marcus sat apart from his friends, uncuffed, talking earnestly to a third officer who'd arrived as backup. "So let me make sure I understand this correctly," Officer Chen said, her pen poised over her notepad. "They grabbed you first, you defended yourself using your military training, and you never struck either of them beyond what was necessary to subdue them?" "That's correct," Maya confirmed. "I used joint locks and leverage. Nothing that would cause lasting damage. They'll be sore tomorrow, maybe bruised, but nothing serious." Officer Chen nodded, making notes. "And you identify yourself as an active-duty Navy SEAL?" "Recently discharged, actually," Maya clarified. "I completed my service 3 months ago. 8 years total." "8 years as a SEAL," Officer Chen repeated, and Maya caught the note of awe in her voice. "That's impressive. Very few people make it through that training, and even fewer are women." Maya shifted uncomfortably. She'd never been good at accepting praise for her service. "I had good instructors and a lot of determination." "Clearly." Officer Chen looked over at Derek and Tyler. Those two had no idea what they were getting into. "No," Maya agreed. "And honestly, I wish it hadn't come to that. I tried to de-escalate verbally, multiple times." "We saw on the videos," Officer Chen assured her. "You gave them every opportunity to back down, and witnesses confirm you remained calm throughout. To be honest, you're probably the least aggressive assault victim I've ever interviewed." The businessman approached, having given his statement to Officer Rodriguez. "Miss, I just want to say that was incredible. The way you handled those guys, I've never seen anything like it." "Thank you," Maya said quietly. "I appreciate you filming what happened. That video might be the only reason this is straightforward instead of complicated." "Already sent it to the officers, and I want you to know, I'm ashamed I didn't step in to help earlier. When they first started harassing you, I moved away. I'm sorry for that." Maya saw genuine regret in his eyes. "Don't apologize. You're not trained for confrontation. What you did, recording evidence and calling for help, that was exactly right. You helped more than you know." He nodded, looking relieved, and moved away to wait for his train. The elderly man, who'd been pretending to sleep, shuffled over, leaning on his cane. "Young lady, I want to thank you. I served in Vietnam long time ago. It does my heart good to see young people like you serving our country and handling yourself with such discipline." Maya felt a lump in her throat. "Thank you, sir. That means a lot coming from a veteran." He patted her arm gently and moved on. One by one, several of the witnesses approached Maya. The mother with the two children thanked her for making the subway safer for her kids. The young couple praised her courage. Even the train operator came down from his cabin to shake her hand. Through it all, Maya felt increasingly uncomfortable. She wasn't looking for recognition or praise. She'd just been trying to get home. Across the platform, Derek was having a very different experience. Officer Rodriguez was reading him and Tyler their rights, explaining that they were being charged with assault and public intoxication.
Derek's earlier bravado had completely evaporated, replaced by the pale, sweaty fear of someone realizing they'd made a terrible mistake. "Man, I didn't know," Derek kept saying. "If I'd known she was military, I never would have—" Officer Rodriguez cut him off. "That's the problem, isn't it? You thought she was an easy target. You thought wrong." Tyler was crying openly now. "My mom is going to kill me. I've never been arrested before. This is going to ruin my life." "You should have thought about that before you assaulted someone," Rodriguez said, unmoved. Marcus was cooperating fully with the third officer, a young man named Officer Park. Maya couldn't hear their conversation, but she could see Marcus gesturing, explaining, clearly trying to distance himself from his friend's actions. Smart guy, Maya thought. He'd learned an important lesson tonight about the company you keep. Officer Chen closed her notebook. "Okay, Miss Richardson, I think we have everything we need. Is there anything else you want to add to your statement?" Maya thought for a moment. "Just that I hope those two get the help they need. They were drunk and stupid tonight, but that doesn't mean they're bad people. Maybe this will be a wake-up call." Officer Chen raised her eyebrows. "That's very generous of you, considering they assaulted you." "Everyone makes mistakes," Maya said. "The question is whether you learn from them." At that moment, a woman in a business suit came rushing down the platform stairs. She spotted Derek and Tyler, and her face went white. She rushed over to Officer Rodriguez. "Derek, what happened? I got a call from someone saying you'd been arrested." "Mom," Derek said miserably, "I messed up. I messed up really bad." His mother looked from him to Tyler, to the officers. "What did you do?" Officer Rodriguez gestured toward Maya. "They assaulted that woman on the subway while intoxicated." Derek's mother turned to look at Maya, and her expression crumbled from confusion to horror. She walked over slowly, and she could see she was trying to hold herself together. "Ma'am, I am so sorry," she said, her voice trembling. "That's my son, and he's never done anything like this before. At least, not that I know of." Her voice broke. "I thought I raised him better than this." Maya saw the genuine anguish in her face and felt a wave of empathy. Mrs. Peterson, Linda Peterson. "Mrs. Peterson, your son made a serious mistake tonight, but he's not hurt, and neither am I. He's going to face consequences, yes, but he can come back from this. People can change if they want." Linda Peterson's eyes filled with tears. "You're the victim, and you're standing there comforting me. I don't deserve that kindness." "Maybe not," Maya said gently, "but I'm giving it anyway. Make sure Derek gets help for his drinking. Make sure he understands why what he did was wrong, and then help him be better." Linda nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I will. I promise I will. Thank you." As Derek's mother went to speak with the officers, the young woman from the couple approached Maya hesitantly. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure," Maya said. "How did you stay so calm? When they were threatening you, you didn't even look scared. How do you do that?" Maya considered the question. "Training helps, but honestly, I've been in situations that were genuinely life-threatening. 3 drunk guys on a subway, that's manageable. The real danger is letting fear make you panic. Fear is useful, it keeps you alert, but panic gets you hurt." The young woman nodded thoughtfully. "I want to be like that, confident, able to protect myself." "Take a self-defense class," Maya suggested. "Not because you'll probably ever need it, but because it changes how you carry yourself. Predators look for easy targets. When you're confident, you're less likely to be chosen. Where would I even find a class like that?" Maya found herself smiling. "You know, I might know someone who could help with that." Officer Chen called Maya over. "Okay, we're going to transport these two to the station for booking. You're free to go. We'll be in touch if we need anything else. But between your statement, the video evidence, and the witness testimonies, this case is pretty straightforward." "What about Marcus, the third guy? He's being released. He clearly didn't participate in the assault, and multiple witnesses confirm he tried to stop his friends. He's not being charged with anything." "Good," Maya said. "He made the right call tonight, even if it was hard." As the officers led Derek and Tyler toward a waiting police van, Marcus approached Maya cautiously. "Can I talk to you for a second?" Maya nodded. Marcus struggled with his words. I need you to know I'm sorry. I should have done more to stop them. I knew they were getting out of hand. I've known Derek since high school, and lately he's been different, angrier, drinking more, and I just kept making excuses for him because he's my friend." "You spoke up," Maya pointed out. "You told them to stop. That took courage." "Not enough courage," Marcus said bitterly. "Not enough to actually stop them. And now Derek is being arrested. Tyler's probably going to have a criminal record, and you could have been seriously hurt. But I wasn't, Maya reminded him. And sometimes the hardest lesson is learning what kind of friend you want to be. You can't control Derek's choices, but you can control yours. Tonight, you learned where you draw the line. That's valuable. Marcus nodded slowly. I'm cutting ties with them. After tonight, I can't keep making excuses. That's your decision to make, Maya said. But maybe instead of cutting ties completely, you be the friend who holds them accountable. The friend who tells them the truth, even when it's hard to hear. That kind of friend is rare and valuable. I'll think about it, Marcus promised. He extended his hand. I'm really sorry about tonight. Maya shook his hand. We all have choices to make about who we want to be. You're making yours. That's all anyone can do. As Marcus walked away, Officer Chen came over one last time. Miss Richardson, off the record, that was some of the most impressive restraint I've ever seen. You could have really hurt those guys, but you chose not to. That takes a special kind of discipline. Maya smiled tiredly. I've seen enough violence for one lifetime, Officer Chen. I'm not interested in adding to it unless I absolutely have to. Well, the city is lucky to have you. Officer Chen handed Maya her card. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call. As the officers finished up and the platform began to clear, Maya finally boarded the next train heading her direction. She found a seat, rested her head against the window, and closed her eyes. 3 more stops until home, and maybe, just maybe, she could still salvage that quiet evening she'd been hoping for. But somehow, she suspected her life was about to get a lot more complicated. Maya woke up the next morning to her phone buzzing like an angry hornet. She reached for it groggily, expecting maybe a few messages from friends checking in. What she saw made her sit